You are live with Get Connected. Mike and John here in studio. We have an awesome program. We're going to be doing tech gift guides. We've asked different members of our team to come up with their favorite tech items that they would like to see in their stocking. So different topics.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how it kind of sorted itself out nicely. Everyone sort of picked their specialty, and we got some really great ideas, like really surprisingly good ideas for all different price categories, all different types of enthusiasts, if you will.
Yeah, from kid tech to travel to outdoor, we've got you covered. I thought we'd spend the first segment here giving our gift ideas. Mine's more smart home related. You're more of the maker.
That's right.
Side, and maker meaning like 3D printers and things like that.
Yeah, the DIY kind of do-it-yourselfer type person, and a lot of my stuff's like tools.
Yeah. So what's on your list?
Well, number one, the 3D printer you mentioned, and I put this on number one on my list because I get asked this practically daily. What's the good 3D printer to get someone into 3D printing?
Yeah.
And the number one pick I have is the Creality Ender 3. Now, there's a bunch of these on Amazon. They're all sold by different companies, but ultimately they're all made by Creality. It's a Chinese company. And there's a number of different models. There's the Creality Ender 3. There's the Ender 3 V2, which is the second version. And there's the Pro. Any of these are great machines. Ender 3, though, is the original. It's a couple years old now. It's typically the cheapest one you'll find. It was as cheap as $250 during various sales that Amazon has, but around $300 roughly. A little bit more for the V2, and they just upgraded a few of the components, but any of them are fine. I love this one because of the fact that it is super user-friendly for new people. Mostly because it has such a huge community of people that own it, that are active on various Facebook and Discord and Reddit groups. So if you have any problems whatsoever, there's hundreds of people that will help you. It's a really well documented machine, so it's very easy to put together, very easy to get replacement parts for because you can get them pretty much anywhere, and it's affordable. And the thing is, it's not a cheap printer in that the low cost kind of cheap way. I actually have two of them, and they're my workhorses. They've been working almost 24/7 for years, and they're just fantastic.
That's awesome. What's another item on your maker wish list?
So a little bit less expensive. I actually found this really cool electric screwdriver that's specifically for people that want to tinker with things like your smartphone, your laptop, anything that has like really tiny little screws.
Yeah.
It's called the Wow Stick. It's an electric screwdriver. It's about $50 on Amazon, and it comes with a little tube of bits, and all the bits are like very small to very small, different shapes and sizes depending on the particular type of bit that you need, but mostly focused on small electronics and that type of thing. The neat thing is it's rechargeable. It's got a USB-C port on the bottom, and you can charge it up. And when you're using it, it actually has little LEDs at the end, so that when you're doing your screwing in and out, it will actually illuminate the whole area really nicely.
Very cool. Well, on my gift list, it's more smart home related. I'm really into that right now. I think I'm going to start off with Ring video doorbell.
Yes.
I've had one for a year now, and this is something I recommend anyone that wants to get a video doorbell. Super easy to install. They've got ones that are wired or battery powered.
Can you get solar?
Yep. And they even have ones for apartments for the little peepholes. I installed one on my parents' condo, and it's been amazing. It just works so well.
Yeah.
It's kind of bulletproof,
yeah,
in my opinion. Also, I don't think I've ever been so excited about a kitchen faucet in my life. I just installed a Moen smart faucet.
This is really cool. Actually, I've used it myself.
Yeah. So it, where do I even begin? It looks like a normal faucet with a normal handle. So people that are more analog and just want the old way, it just works that way. They wouldn't even know it's smart. But it also has a sensor on top. So you don't even have to touch the tap anymore. You just wave your hand over and it'll start pouring the water.
It's kind of like in the airport washroom or wherever.
Yes.
Right? I just kind of surprised they didn't put the sensor underneath so you can put your hand under. And
yeah. And I'm surprised that more faucet makers haven't just put sensors in.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange. And so you're going to ask, well, this thing needs electricity then. Yes, it does. But the nice thing is it works off of battery. So I think it's the D-cell batteries. Again, you install that underneath the sink when you're installing the faucet here. And the batteries, they say, will last up to a year.
Right.
And if you don't like batteries, you can get an optional AC adapter for it if you've got power, or you can run power underneath the sink. So either way, you can get power to it and it works fine. Okay, so the big thing is that it's also tied in with digital voice assistants. So if you've got Google Home or if you've got Amazon Alexa, it is awesome because you can use it for measuring out water. So if you're into baking and you need half a cup of water, you can basically ask Alexa to pour it half a cup and it will give the exact amount.
And this is really cool because it actually, especially if you ask for hot water, it'll say, wait until it's ready and then wave your hand when you're actually ready for it to be dispensed.
Yes. It's like the future and it just works so well.
Yeah.
I love it. I can't imagine not having this faucet anymore. Also on my list, Roomba. I just love these robot vacuums. I've got a few of them in my house now. My favorite would be the Roomba i9 Plus series. It's not only the little robot vacuum, but it's got a canister base station. So once it's finished going through your home, and it maps your home out. So you can actually tell it where to go, like the front hall or the kitchen or the dining room, and just do those specific areas. When it's done, it goes back and it empties the dirt out of the vacuum into the canister into a vacuum bag.
Yeah, I think that the Plus models that have that additional sort of cleaning option really sells the Roomba to me, because I had one before, but I always hated having to empty it because it was always such a small little component.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised how much crap it picks up.
Yeah, well, with pets, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. We've got 2 little dogs, and it doesn't look like there's any hair on the floor. No. It doesn't. But once this Roomba goes through the house, it is amazing how much it picks up.
Yeah.
And I'm blown away at how well it works. Because when I first, started trying these out, I'm like, how good can this possibly be? But it replaces my vacuum. I mean, I still have like a little Dyson, cordless one, but this thing is all kinds of cool. One more item from you.
So, kind of a bonus item on my list, because it's not a tool. It's actually from Korg. It's a DIY synthesizer you actually put together yourself. It's called the NTS1, and it's about $130 Canadian. And it is an amazing little machine. Has a keyboard, it has a display, it has a bunch of knobs for various functionality. So filtering, oscillators, all this kind of stuff. It has USB MIDI control, so you can actually plug it into your computer. Korg actually has released all kinds of downloadable sound options, so it can make like hundreds of thousands of different sounds. And you can also put in other audio into it and use this little box as an effects processor. And it's a super fun little thing. You don't need to solder anything. It's just a really easy to put together little thing. And they've even open sourced the design of the case that it is. So they actually have 3D printable files for it, so you can customize it to your heart's content. And for $130, it's a great way to get into music making, and also sort of, if you're already into music making, it's a fun thing to play with.
Well, we've got a lot more tech gift guides for outdoor tech, travel tech, kid tech. It's all about the gift guides on this show today. You're listening to Get Connected. We'll be back shortly after this. You're back with Get Connected. Mike and John here, talking tech gift guides, different kind of categories. We're going to go for baller tech now. We've got Graham Williams on the line. Hey, Graham.
Hello.
What is baller tech?
Baller tech is go big or go home. I mean, we've all had those Christmases where you're like, I don't really want anything this year, so maybe just give me something. No, we're talking the big, awesome stuff. I am not shirking away from this year. I'm saying big, awesome things. That is baller tech.
I've looked at your list, Graham, and this looks like stuff that you are buying for yourself. Essentially.
Well,
yeah. Well, let's start with number one, a gift that no one can get their hands on.
The PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
The PlayStation 5. And would you believe, talk about things that I bought for myself, I got one.
Yeah, they're tough. Like, did you pre-order?
I didn't. So here's the crazy thing. I had actually resolved myself to not getting one until next year. And so a good friend of mine, one of our contributors, Ged, actually had a friend who had managed to secure not one, but two pre-orders. And so he said to me, hey, I don't really want this right now. Would you like to have this pre-order, flat costs, no additional, and you're just going to pay shipping to your place? To which I said, oh, hell yes.
You could have sold it for a small fortune.
I could have, but here's the thing: I'm against scalping, sort of as a thing. I'm very anti-scalping. I think it's a horrible thing. And if you're out there scalping, I think you're a bad person.
We will give Graham's address and phone number out after this.
Come at me, bro. So here's the thing. It's I've loved the PlayStation platform for a very long time. I used to run a folding at home community for the PlayStation 3. That was when they used the cell processor to fold proteins and try to find cures for things like cancer. And so I've been a big proponent of the PlayStation environment since time immemorial, back when it wasn't cool to be a PlayStation guy. And the PlayStation 4 came rip-roaring out of the gates and really landed it for Sony. And so a lot of my friends are on PlayStation. Now, I've got a great gaming PC as well, and I use that for awesome stuff like Microsoft Flight Sim. But for what I'm seeing right now is the PlayStation 5 actually has a small edge when it comes to performance. A lot of the games that are coming out that are multi-platform, they're a little bit better on PlayStation. And I find just the environment and the experience to be more in line with who I am. And so I've got this thing. It's been installed. It's set up. I've got this gorgeous white home theater set up that's got a beautiful Sonos Arc in it, which is white, and the cabinet's all white. And for the first time, my console is pure white, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Well, to help you keep up at night, because you work so much, that's the only time you have to do games. I'd like your next item on your gift list.
So this is the LG 77-inch CX. Is that right?
I was talking about the coffee.
Oh, the coffee
machine.
So I don't have the list in front of me. So Nespresso. So here's the thing. 6 years ago, Nespresso brought out the Virtuo line. Because they originally started off with the original line, which were great little cups of espresso. And that's great, if you just want a cup of espresso. Clearly, I drink a lot of espresso. You can hear it right now. But the Virtuo line's kind of neat because you can do espresso, double espresso, and different sizes of cups of coffee. Now, I've got the original Virtuo line hanging out over here. But their Virtuo Next line is actually very, very sexy. And so a couple of things that I like about it. One, it does all 5 sizes of Virtuo line that are coffees that are available right now, but there's a hidden 6th size that they haven't released yet. I kind of love those Easter egg things. The other thing is it's quite a bit quieter than the machine that I have right now. So when I am up first thing in the morning before my partner gets up, she loves a cup of coffee. I like to get it ready for her. But if I can make that without her waking up and just have it there with that steaming cup of coffee, that's a better experience for everybody involved.
These machines are not quiet generally either.
They're not.
Like coffee machines in general. Yeah.
So here's the thing. I helped introduce Breville as a brand in Canada with one of the major retailers here. So I've got this gorgeous $900 espresso machine. And that thing, it's a weekend only because it is a racket. It makes some noise, makes great coffee. But that is not like I'm waking up first thing in the morning and the birds are tweeting and the sun is shining. That's you're making some coffee right now. So the Virtuo line, it's good. The Virtuo line Next, quite a bit quieter. So that's more in line with my morning experience.
Okay. You were going to mention the TV. You've got a big one on your list.
So I've got a 70-inch Vizio right now that I bought, 5 years ago. Warranty's just run out on it. Thank you, Costco. And so it's great. It's a 70-inch Vizio M70C3. Great little television. Doesn't have high dynamic range. Ooh. Not so good. It's also LCD, which means the black levels are more dark gray. I'm a plasma guy. I mourn plasma. I pour one out for my plasma homies every time that I turn this TV on. And so when I look at the OLED LG CX, the 77-inch, OLED TVs are gorgeous. Like the color is insane. We've seen them down at CES, and they've done some crazy things with them. And those black levels are black. That's what I'm missing in my life right now, my home theater and my gaming. So I've got a 70 right now. You got to go bigger, right? Like it's ridiculous to go smaller. It would be insane. That's only for phones. And so the 77 is a beautiful television.
But this is not a stocking stuffer. This is...
Depends on the size of your stocking, really.
It's a big ticket item.
Well, here's the thing. If you're stalking me and you want me to like you more, you could buy me one of these. I'm just throwing that out there. Mike got the address. I'll put it up at the end of the show.
Yeah. You're going to get an interesting mix of people. This thing's $7,000, Graham.
$7,000. I bought the Vizio for $2,800. Now here's the thing: I took a tour through a couple of retailers, and there were a bunch of 70 to 75-inch LED TVs, like $1,000. So if you actually want to get into the size and you're not as dedicated to those rich colors and black levels as I am, you can do this for $6,000 less. This one is one of those where I think my present to myself this year is starting the little jar of money that I'm going to toss cash into until I can afford it.
Okay, let's quickly look at the last two here. A storm suit, really?
Yeah. So this is from a company called Techies, and they are from out east. I think they're either Ontario or New Brunswick. They're out there somewhere. And so I've got two of these. I've got the storm suit and I've got their lodge suit. This is an adult onesie. It is a one piece.
Sorry, you've got two of these. You're hilarious.
The lodge suit's amazing.
Yeah.
And so the storm suit, though, is fully waterproof. It is a one piece. So you don't get that, when the jacket rides up and you get that sort of cold bit around your midriff. This is, you're going out there and you're doing some serious hiking or you're doing some serious work outside. When I'm camping and it is nasty outside, I've got some serious camping gear. This thing is awesome. Like, this handles Vancouver winters like you wouldn't believe. When it comes to heavy rains, fully waterproof. And something that I absolutely think is phenomenal. So check them out. Techies, I think it's tuxiesuit.co, something like that. But really, really cool piece of gear.
Looks like it would make it harder for the bears to eat you.
We've all one piece. So if you got to run, you're good. You're streamlined.
Yes. Okay, last one. This looks like it's out of A Christmas Story.
This is the Red Ryder adult BB gun. You know what? I think that all things cowboy are pretty awesome. And so a lever action BB gun. This is not for kids. Use your eye protection, okay? But this is a really neat toy that if you've watched A Christmas Story and you're feeling that nostalgia stir within you, instead of sticking your tongue to a pole, you could actually just go out and shoot something with BBs. Obviously, shoot targets, not animals, not people. It's not a good thing. But the lever action makes like a cowboy. Just give it a big old spin like Schwarzenegger there in Terminator 2, and you are good to go. Awesome.
I don't think Arnold would be using this gun, but you can dream. Graham, thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure to be here.
You can check out his list up on our website, getconnectedmedia.com. We've got all the links and info for that. When we come back, we're going to look at some more tech gift guides, including for the outdoor enthusiast and also tech gifts for the kids. Some really cool stuff. You're listening to Get Connected. Back after this. You're back with Get Connected. Mike and John here, continuing our gift guide. We're going to go outdoor tech, and we've got one of our team members, Laura Denton, on the line. Thanks for joining us, Laura.
Hello.
Why did you, we got the different team members to pick different, I guess their top tech gift categories. Why did you choose outdoor tech?
Outdoor tech. I love being outside. I crave it. I count down for the weekends. And year round, I'm out kayaking and hiking, and come snow, I'm out skiing and traveling in the backcountry snowshoeing.
You're originally from Prince Rupert, right?
I am.
Yeah. I guess that's where you got your outdoorsiness.
It's what you do.
Well, let's look at some of the tech that you picked. What's number one on your list?
Number one on my list is the Fitbit, either the Sense or the Versa, and definitely need some extra motivation. Even when I'm motivated to get outside, I'm motivated to start walking during the weeks instead of just saving it for the weekends. Have challenges with my Fitbit friends, step challenges.
Yeah, that was something you mentioned that was it important for you because the friends in your small bubble that you do these outdoor activities with, they have Fitbits. And so being able to challenge them or keep track of each other and help to motivate, that's a big important thing.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really fun to check in on your Fitbit to see who's walked how much, and just have that extra motivation can't hurt.
I don't think I want anyone to know how little I'm walking right now. So, Laura, I admire the heck out of you for that. What's the next on your list?
Next on my list is a extra portable battery packs. So
Great.
As I'm out there exploring and you need maps and contacts, you also need photos. You don't want your phone to die on you, and to have the extra charger in your pack is an essential.
And from what I see on Instagram, use your phone a lot when you're out on your hikes. And I gotta be honest, I'm so jealous. Like, I feel like just like the worst potato in the history of mankind. Like, I'm like lying on the couch on the weekends, and in the Instagram feed there, Laura's up on some mountain somewhere.
Or she's like kayaking in the morning and then snowshoeing in the afternoon.
Yeah,
she's like the epitome of the Vancouver outdoors person.
I love her, and sometimes I hate her a little bit as well. But yeah, there's no question when you're out and about, and especially Laura, you're saying you're using the GPS on your smartphone and the camera that eats up the battery. So the battery pack is a fantastic idea. What else you got on your outdoor tech list?
Well, speaking of maps and GPS on your phone, the thing when you don't have service and you don't have the maps on your phone to avoid getting lost is to have a spot beacon device. Nope. Hold on.
Nope.
Edit that.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the
is
things
the water. Okay.
It's the
sorry.
It's the Garmin waterproof GPS.
Thank you.
The eTrex.
Okay, and I'll pick that up.
Thank you.
So, Laura, what's next on your outdoor tech list?
Well, we talked about having your phone for the GPS. And if you don't have service and you're not able to access maps on your phone because you're too far out of range, the Garmin waterproof GPS is on my list. I don't have this, but need this because I have been lost several times taking the wrong turn. And before you know it, you've added 10K and a couple hours to your day, which can be a scary thing.
And these are fairly inexpensive devices too. And the nice thing that I like about them, I actually used to have one. I actually don't know what happened to it. I probably lost it.
It's in your garage.
It's in my garage. Yeah. You can actually get maps at a greater detail than you would get from Google or something else, because a lot of the times these will give you topographical and even trail maps that you can have. And the nice thing is this device is fairly inexpensive. They're about $150, and you can actually plot your trip and all that kind of stuff on it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess waterproof is the key too. I see you out kayaking all the time, so I'm sure that's a handy feature. Let's keep going down. We're talking about outdoor tech. We got Laura Denton on the line, one of our team members, and this is her Christmas, wish list in many ways. We know what she wants for Christmas now. What else you got?
Well, yeah, and it's funny you mentioned waterproof for kayaking, but growing up from the north and being in Vancouver, the adventures have to be rain or shine. And the other thing on the list is a waterproof backpack. So whether it is sitting on the front of the kayak, or if it's snowing out, or if it's you're hiking in the rain, to make sure that all your tech is protected is to have a waterproof backpack.
I've learned this quite quickly because I've been inspired by not only you, John. I bought some kayaks off of you.
You did.
At a great price. Thank you. And seeing Laura out on the water all the time, my wife and I have been kayaking, and yeah, like it's wet. We didn't have a waterproof bag at first, and we quickly got one. But to your point, Laura, you can get these dry bag backpacks for as little as $30 on Amazon. And one last item, you got something for us?
Yes, your friends and family looking out for you, or if you're going even a little further beyond, or perhaps you don't have your GPS and you get lost, is a spot beacon device. And that's so your friends and family know where you are. In our ski family that we have, the family has to wear these devices as their backcountry. So if anything happens in that way, it could be worst case scenario. Or hiking, you don't want to get lost, and they can track for you.
That's a spot beacon. They go for about $150.
Yeah, there's different ones, and some of them have subscription services, and it sort of depends on the features that you get. But the nice thing about these is they will basically automatically sort of send a message, whether it's an email or a text message, depending on which device you get, to your designated family members or friends saying, hey, everything's okay, I'm good. And if something does happen and you don't actually send that button or press that button, then it'll say, hey, something's not good.
And then people can pinpoint where you are.
Right.
Which I think is important.
It will share your location that's GPS located.
Laura, I want to thank you for coming on the show, or letting us force you to come on the show as we with some of our other Get Connected team members.
Thanks for having me and sharing my wish list. I hope everyone hears it.
We'll send it to your parents.
We will.
Yes, and inspires you, of course.
Of course. And again, if you want to see any of these gift guides, we've got them up on our website, getconnectedmedia.com. When we come back, we'll look at a few more. Back after this. You are back with Get Connected. Mike and John here. We are talking gift guides, tech gift guides. We're going to talk tech for kids now. On the line, we've got AJ. How you doing, AJ?
Hey, guys. Doing great. Thanks.
I'm excited to go through this list. Obviously, you've got a kid now, so you're well into what's hot for the kids out there. What's on your list for the children?
Yeah, well, for sure. And it's not even just what's hot, but it's also thinking about kind of, trying to be somewhat strategic and getting things for the kids that will they'll enjoy, but will also help them along a little bit. So as you know, my daughter is, in just about to turn 7. So these gifts kind of work for ages in and around that. But one thing I noticed is that she's really into kind of like learning how to, read dates and tell time. And I thought, is it time to get a watch? And if you're going to get a watch, what are you going to look at? Because there's a whole bunch of choices. And being a technologist, I, immediately think like, is it time to get her, an iWatch? I think it's a little bit too early for that. So I found something cool from VTech, and it's called their Kitty Zoom smartwatch. This model that I looked at was the DX2. And what I liked about it was, first of all, right off the bat, they'll have a lot of fun telling the time. But beyond that, it's got a little camera built into it, so they can actually take pictures with it. And it's got some built-in games as well. So right away, they can make a lot of fun with just telling time and playing some games and taking a lot of photos. And I'm really excited for her to try that out.
You're going to have a tiny human following you around, documenting your every move now, right?
Just one more camera in the house to watch.
Bursting into the bathroom with you.
Yeah, we'll cross that one off then.
Let's keep going down the list here. You've got quite a few good ones. What's next up?
For sure. Well, the next thing I looked at was the tablet, right? We all know that kids spend time with their screens, and you don't want to have one tablet in the house that everyone's fighting over. And what I found is, we're familiar with the Fire HD from Amazon. It's a very powerful tablet that is inexpensive to get into. When I say inexpensive, I'm talking about one of the higher version ones. This is the HD 8 Kids Edition, and it comes in at about $130. And again, that can be a very entry level price for a tablet, but at the same time, you're getting a very powerful tablet on the Amazon platform. It comes with a year subscription to the kids profile that they have, as well as it comes with a great hardy case. And again, these technology can be very brittle. And so wrapping it up in a big, colorful, but protective case is a great way to get something dedicated for your kid.
And because it's Amazon too, it goes on sale all the time.
Yeah. So keep your eye on that.
What I like about Amazon too and their app store, it is Android, but Amazon's kind of curated it, so it's not a lot of crazy weird stuff on there either.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, and this kids version one is specifically aimed towards kids content right out of the box, I should say. And there's also lots of good parental control, so you can control everything from screen time to how much time in particular apps. But it's a great gateway to also doing things like reading. We know Amazon is great for book subscriptions, and right away the kids can start to download their favorite books.
Well, they'll be able to take all the pictures they take of you on their watch onto the tablet and get them up on
exactly.
Instagram, right?
And moving on, because they're going to be watching shows, obviously, that's one thing about having a tablet is that can get really annoying. So I found a pair of kids headphones. And when I say kids headphones, these are called Junior Jams, and they're very stylish. So right away, the kids are going to think these are awesome because they're really cool to have, but they have some controls over how loud the volume can get. And what I like about that is, again, we want to protect those ears. Mike, I know you've destroyed yours over many years of gaming and loud, listening to things loudly. But we want to protect the ears, and this is one way to do it. They have built-in protection so the kids can't crank that sound. At the same time, they're very cool and stylish way to watch the games or listen to music or watch shows.
I think that's a great idea, and it's a great gift item as well. And it's something to be aware of, because kids are going to be wearing headphones and that, and they can crank the volume on those. So these are a great way of controlling that and keeping their little ears safe. I kind of like the next one you have, AJ, and my daughter, Ava, got one of these when she was, a few years younger, and just loves it to this day.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is one of those things that's really works for a kid of any age. I mean, probably even young adults as well. This is from Fujifilm, and it's their Instax Mini 11. And these are those, if you remember Polaroids, they're basically based on that same concept. They're instant pictures, right? Not crazy photography quality or anything like that, but you take these photos, they print out instantaneously. You wait for them to the picture to reveal itself. They're small in their format, so they're only a couple inches by a couple inches. And, but super fun. And you can put these photos everywhere. You can make a little collage with them. You can work them into your art, schoolwork. You can put them on the fridge, under the tree even.
It's fun because it kind of teaches them what it was like in the old days. And do you remember when Polaroids came out, AJ?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was the technology of the time, like being able to get a photograph instantly. Like my mind was blown when I first saw that. So, the kids, they think it's cool. My daughter, like I said, still has it, still uses it. One of her walls is just covered in these little pictures.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. It's this tactile sense, right? Like rather than just taking a picture and having it on your device, this is taking a photograph into real life, in that it's printed on something that you can touch and feel. And I think that's really what makes the difference, which kind of leads me to, one of the last ideas I had. This is called the Osmo. It's an iPad game accessory. Actually, it also works on the Amazon, the Fire that we just talked about. But what it is it's a dock that you would set your tablet into, and it's got a little camera accessory that attaches to the top. This is really cool because what it is it's sort of like a game. It is based on learning, but it's still fun. But what it does is the camera points to the bottom of the area where the iPad has been stood up in its little stand. And you actually interact with the game with physical devices. So you can there's number pieces, you can draw, you can do all sorts of different activities, math, spelling, there's creativity like drawing, and it brings whatever you're doing physically or tactile into that digital world. So it brings those drawings into the iPad game and actually allows you to interact with the digital game in a physical way.
AJ, thanks so much for letting us know on what's on the kids' tech wish list this year.
You got it, guys.
When we come back from the break, more tech to talk. Stay tuned. You're back with Get Connected. We've got time for one more gift guide, and this one's all about travel from our little traveler on the team. Her name is Kristina Stoyanova. You've heard her many times before on our sister show, The App Show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
You have been traveling the world in the past year, which has been crushed by COVID. Your travel dreams are gone, but you are hoping to do that again coming up in the new year. So we wanted to get your picks for travel tech. What do you want to start off with?
Well, first of all, I want to start out by saying that I'm just considering this being grounded temporarily.
Got it. Go
I
ahead.
had a little too much fun.
Yes. Back to reality.
Back to reality, but I'm looking forward to getting back to travel. So one of the things that I love having with me is the Hustle backpack from SoulGuard. We've talked about this many times before. It's a great travel accessory, great for my laptop. It has a nice cushy padded compartment. It's the perfect size to keep me from overpacking. It has a built-in USB port so I can charge my phone on the go. And it's got some really amazing pockets, including a secret pocket for your passport and a couple of little card-sized pockets on the shoulder straps so that you can put a credit card within reach instead of having to open the bag to get to it. And it's also secure, so it has an actual lock that will lock the backpack closed, or you can use it to lock it to something like a chair if you're at a restaurant while you're traveling. You never know when you're in some of these cities what can happen if you leave your bag on the ground.
A techie backpack. I like it. What's next up on your list?
The next thing is my Herschel laptop sleeve. So this is another accessory. What I love about this one is that it has a nice sturdy zipper on it. I find those dainty little zippers on laptop cases really frustrating because they always seem to give out in the wrong place at the wrong time. So this one's really great. It's got lots of padding and it's pretty stain resistant. I have it in light gray and it's been all over the world and it still looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, you can get these little laptop sleeves pretty cheap, but I find you really get what you pay for, don't you? Like the ones that I've bought for $10 before, and I thought I'm getting a great deal. Not such a good deal when it wears out after a month and a half.
That's right. So this one is a really good purchase, and I can rely on it anywhere.
Okay, what's next up on your travel tech list?
I've got power banks, which are your best friend when you're traveling, especially if you're traveling in a hot country, because that really does a number on your phone battery. It tends to fall quite quickly in the heat. So I have two power bank options. One is actually from SolGuard, who makes the Hustle backpack. These ones are solar powered, which I really love because you can charge them while you're on the go. However, they are a little bit on the heavier side. They have a lot of power, and so they'll keep your phone charged for quite some time, but they're not great for your back if you're carrying them around. So my second option is the Logix Piston Power, and these ones are really tiny and slim. You will have to charge them more often, but they'll save your back, and they're pretty inexpensive. I've gone through quite a few of these just because I tend to lose them.
Let's move on to the next travel tech item. This one looks like a camera.
It is. I have a Panasonic mirrorless camera, which is great, and it's nice and light, but it is still heavier than a small point and shoot, and it's a little bit on the expensive side and more delicate. So what I actually like to travel with these days is the Olympus Tuff. So this is a small point and shoot, and it's drop resistant, waterproof, and it takes some great pictures and even takes them in RAW. So if you're into post-processing, you can still do it with this camera. And the great thing about it is that it has an underwater housing. So I like to scuba dive, and so I can pop this into the housing and I can take it to depth with me.
Let's move on with travel tech here. This one, as many people know of you, your love of coffee. This is coffee tech on the go.
Yeah, so this has evolved over the years. I started with the NanoPresso. It's a little device by Wakako is the brand. And this actually creates an espresso. All you need is the coffee grounds and some boiling water, and you can pump your own espresso complete with a nice layer of crema. Which is pretty impressive for something tiny on the go. I actually take this everywhere with me. And I've also recently added the Espro P0, which is a portable French press. And what I love about this is, yes, of course, I can make a French press coffee on the go. But the other thing is that it works really well to froth milk. So with these two devices combined, I actually have a latte or cappuccino anywhere I go. And they're both super portable and fit in my suitcase.
She can't carry a laptop anymore because all this other stuff is taking up all the room, but who cares?
Priorities.
Priorities. Kristina, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
If you want to see some of our other travel tech picks, visit our website, getconnectedmedia.com. That's all the time we have left. I want to thank John and Kristina, who's one of the producers on the show, for helping put it all together. We'll see you again next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube page. And you know that little bell icon? Hit that and you'll be notified every time we post a new video. And comment. The more comments and the more likes and subscriptions we get, the more videos we can make.